What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mad Max back again with the grand what if Deku had real steel? Let's get it. So we're gonna start this what if like this. Deku's at the Quirk Doctor and he is 4 years old. The Quirk Doctor says we need to do more research on your son. And let's say that Inko and Deku leave. And Inko thinks that Deku is quirkless. So our boy Deku is with Briss humming, listen to the radio. And Inko drops Deku off at like a big dam. And she pushes Deku all the way down and saying, "You're nothing. You will never be nothing." And Deku remembers those words very well. Deku is rolling down the cliff and he sort of falls inside of a lake. He's sort of floating all the way down the lake, sort of trying to keep himself from not drowning. As that is happening, our boy Deku is sort of crying, but the tears are going into the water. And Deku hits something like a concrete slab. And he says, "Ow." And he looks up, seeing that it's a building, like an old abandoned military base building. Deku would open it up. He would get out of the water first, and then he would get on top of it and open it up. So our boy Deku is just more likely searching the area inside of the building. He would sort of think of this as a nice place to set up base, but he thinks that it's sort of scary. And as Deku is looking around, he finds the power source and he turns it on. Deku would sort of look around more and more around the engineering era. He will see that there are two slots, one for a specific created AI and another like one that was made for AI. Deku is curious on what do these two things create. So Deku would be looking for the other AI. And as he's looking for that, he stumbles upon a giant robot that's standing in front of a door. This door would hold creatures that Deku would have to learn how to cope and face with. So Deku would sort of like, I would say that he learned his quirk while sort of exploring. It's called Techno Act. He's able to control and see tech inside of anything. So he learns how to use his quirk, and he looks at the robot, seeing that there's a deadlock on it, saying, "You must not move this robot or the creatures inside will be let out." And Deku will sort of understand that. And he will sort of walk back into the engineering era, finding the AI card. And he would put it inside of the slot, turning it on and pressing a button. And another AI slot opens up and an AI card comes out. This AI card was created by the creators, Militech. And Deku will sort of grab the card and he will sort of put it in his back pocket. And as he's sort of looking more and more around, he finds that there's another robot too. This robot is, let's say, the same size as this, but it has this. It has that. So Deku would sort of be more likely to reconnect the robot's power source back to it. and it would read Midas. Deku remembered that he learned something like this on TV, that in America back in the Roman days there was a king named Midas who was very greedy. So yeah, Deku would sort of change up Midas's color. He would change it to green, more like a greenish color, and he would change everything about Midas, even melting down the gold that he had on him and turning it into like a controller for him to control the robot with. So Deku was just testing out Midas in a bigger part of the base where they test all their weapons. And as Deku is testing with Midas, he hears a loud clunk, and the clunk is getting louder and louder and louder and closer. Deku would sort of hide, and as he's hiding, he would see a person. This person is like, this person has no eyes, more like horns, and it's on fire too. And he hears two people running in. He will see who it is, but they don't reveal themselves. And they would kill the creature. And they would say the creature has been killed. And Deku would sort of make a sort of movement. And the two people would sort of look where Deku's at. And they would sort of try to walk over there quietly. But Deku would sort of tell Midas to help him. Midas would sort of blow past the two people and letting Deku run. Deku would sort of look at the guardian robot that is guarding the hold. He would tell it to open it, but it kept on saying access denied, and Deku just shouted, "Open it!" And it would open, and Deku would tell it to close it. The two people sort of said, "Shit, he's in there with the beast. How can we get him out?" The guy says, "Well, the kid's dead. No one has ever tamed that beast, ever. Not even none of us have. And we're gonna do a time skip to where like Deku is 6. Deku spent 2 years in there with the beast. He sort of learned how to tame it. He gave it the name Cerberus. Cerberus would be, let's say, like this, but he would have a tail and like a dog like appearance on his face. So Deku would tell Cerberus to open up the door. Deku wouldn't know why people were afraid of Cerberus, but he'll soon find out more when the people come back. Deku and Cerberus opens up the door. The Guardian will sort of be on high alert, but Deku tells it to calm down and tell him where is Midas. The Guardian will take Deku to Midas, who has been dismantled. So Deku will sort of reprogram Midas, and Midas would get up in a sort of battle stance, ready to fight Cerberus, but Deku tells Midas to calm down. Midas would calm down, and he would scan Cerberus, saying, pretty nice. And Cerberus would say, thank you. You too, Midas. Midas and Cerberus would get along, but the Guardian is skeptical that this robot was inside the vault. But then he remembers that he remembers the commands he were told. Don't let anybody out with that beast. And that beast they're talking about is Cerberus. Cerberus were like what's called not tamed, because before quirks were a thing, they used robots to take down the countries, like different countries, armies, military bases, and everything. They didn't want Cerberus to be out there because he was too wild. He didn't listen to nobody. So one day they chose to lock up Cerberus, and the Guardian was pleading with them, don't do this. But they just sort of put him on default mode, and they programmed him to guard the vault. And the Guardian will sort of remember his name, Zeus. He would run over there hugging Cerberus, saying, I am so sorry, Cerberus. I couldn't stop them from locking you up. Cerberus would say, it's okay, Zeus. Now, how are we gonna fix up this old place? Because this place is getting old and disgusting. Deku would agree. So Deku will sort of tell them to go to the engineering area of the base. They would all follow Deku inside the engineering area, and Deku would tell them, how about this? I would merge you all. I would give you one mind. Not one mind, but like one conscience with all your memories and everything in it. And they would say, wait, really? You can do that? Deku would say, yeah. Deku would tell them to lie down on the 3 tables that are placed in front of them. So Deku hooks up all their brains into one drive. Deku would pull a drive out his back pocket, and he would say, this is V. Deku would plug it in, and it would sort of change colors from a greenish color to a golden color. Deku would sort of turn back around to the robots. He would see that their bodies are dismantling. He would say, I wonder why. But he doesn't really care about this. So he goes and he takes the bodies, and he rebuilds them as one, creating a person. Not a person, but like a robot, calling it V. He calls this mech V. V is a combination of Cerberus, Midas, and the Twin Cities. So our boy Deku is more likely getting smarter and smarter. So Deku would sort of tell V to help him out with something. V would say, okay, sure, come on. V and Deku would sort of go outside and see that people have made up camp at their house. Deku would tell V to get rid of them quietly. V's arm would change into a sniper rifle, quietly sort of shooting at them all, killing them. And Deku would look at the circuit that they had and sees that this is Militech, like the future version of Militech. So Deku would take the data off of the Militech's tablet and computer, and he would sort of create a identity, calling himself V or Victor, because he created a robot calling it V. So Deku chose the name Victor. Victor Doom. So Deku will sort of get back to the city where he was. And as people are curious on who is this metal man that is following Deku, and as Deku would sort of be walking with V, a giant explosion would happen, and Deku sees that this is a hero fighting a villain. He wouldn't geek out at all, but Deku would sort of look curious as who are these people. So he would see heroes struggling to fight a person. This person is Asashi Midoriya, aka All for One. Deku would sort of remember that his mom told him that his father was a man named All for One. So he would run over there, blocking all the heroes' attacks, and All for One would be surprised on who this boy was. He would say, "Ha ha ha, I got a hostage. Everybody move back or this whole place would blow up." And Deku would say, "Dad?" Asashi would look down like, "Wait, what? I am not your father." And Deku would say, "Yes, you are. My name is Izuku Midoriya." And Asashi remembers that name, Midoriya. That's his last name. He says, "Oh, fuck." He will sort of take Deku as a hostage, and Deku would tell V to follow him. Armfront would take Deku back to his base and putting Deku inside of the bar, saying, take care of the kid. He would sort of call Inko, saying, "Inko, why is our son 6 years old? You told me that he was quirkless." But then Inko said, "He was. The doctor said that he'll call me when he have more stuff to tell me about Deku's quirk." And Asashi didn't like that she abandoned his son out in the forest by himself for like 2 years. And she would tell a villain, Shigaraki, would like to go to her house and kill her. And Shigaraki would go there killing Inko. So yeah, let's say that All for One was sort of more likely to keep Deku because he didn't want people just saying, "Oh my god, that's a villain son. We should interrogate him. We should capture him. Do some tests on him," because he didn't want his son to be hurt like that. So he would make an apartment, like a log cabin outside of the city. And this land is under the name Asashi Midoriya, who is him, basically. Like his true self. And he would tell Deku to stay here and learn. The person who is sort of like teaching him is Kurogiri. Since Kurogiri is, the theory that Kurogiri is President Mike and Eraserhead's dead friend. So our boy Deku is going to be spending time with Kurogiri. And since Kurogiri would sort of be doing errands for Deku, because Deku would tell Kurogiri to get this for him, get that for him from different facilities. And Kurogiri would get Deku everything he absolutely wanted. Like a creation center and like a sort of big place for him to hang out with. So, so our boy Deku would be more likely happy to live with his father and his uncle Kurogiri. So we're gonna do a time skip to where Deku is 13. Deku will sort of be in middle school now, but he would be homeschooled. So Deku is learning and learning and learning, and he passes all his class with straight A's. And All for One would sort of be happy about this, and he'd tell Kurogiri to send in Deku. Deku would walk in saying, "Hello, father." All for One would say, "Hello, Izuku, come here." And All for One would say, "Do you want a quirk? Another quirk?" Deku would say, "Yes, sure." All for One would sort of copy Deku's quirk, but he would sort of change it a little bit. He made a he made it into a copying techno quirk that combines two. So All for One would give that quirk back to Deku, and in doing so, it would change Deku's body a little bit. All for One would tell Kirigiri to try to heal Deku, but Kirigiri would say, "It's his quirk, sir. You gave him a stronger quirk, right? But his body is not meant to do that yet." All for One is freaking out, and he says, "No, I cannot lose my son. He's the only thing I have left." So Deku will sort of tell Kirigiri to go get V. Kirigiri would bring in V and telling what what should I do now? And Deku says nothing. V, go to health mode. V would pull out a weird little cable and sort of just jab it inside of Deku, healing Deku more and more and more because over the time Deku changed V's structure, meaning that he can use a quirk because him and his father created V a quirk. It's called resurrection, which means he is able to resurrect anybody. So our boy Deku jumps up screaming like, "Oh shit, that's like, there we go." And All for One was like smack him saying, "Watch your language." Deku says, "Sorry, damn it." And Deku would get smacked again by Kirigiri saying, "Watch your language, young master." And Deku would say, "Fine, sorry." And Asashi would say, "Since you are at the age, do you want to go to UA?" Deku would say, "Wait, really, UA?" And All for One would say yes, but not as a student, as a, how do you say it, a spy. Deku would sort of say yes. And let's say Deku would smile. All for One would smile at this, saying, "I have raised you well, my boy." So Deku would sort of go to the UA entrance exam, and he would get into the exam, and he would pass the written thing. And as Deku would be the first one to pass it, he would turn in saying this was easy, and he would walk to the gate part, sitting there waiting on everybody else to finish. Everybody else finishes it, and when President Mike would say, like, 3, 2, and as he's counting down, Deku would sort of hack the gates, and he would barge in there, and President Mike would say, "Follow him, goddammit." Deku would be sort of using his quirk to basically take control of the robots, blowing them up, making them fight each other and rescue people. And now, since he never met Uraraka, he'd meet a different person. This is a person that I want to add. I want to say that in this one, there's a girl called Summer. Summer has the quirk of the sun. She's able to make her body to a different heat temperature like the sun. Her hair can go from blue to red, and her max color is blue basically. And she would be strong too. So yeah. Deku would sort of be fighting all the robots, and he would see a girl shouting and see everybody else running away. he would see that Summer is stuck up under giant rubble, and he would see and he would see the 0 pointer. So Deku would try to take control of the robot, but it doesn't work because this one is too big for him to take over. Deku will sort of be mad, and he would scream and scream and scream, cussing at the quirk that he has. And as he's trying and trying again, and he breaks his limiter, breaching the inside of the robot, and the robot basically blows up, sending shrapnel out of the building and into the crowds. Like, some parts were flying everywhere, pieces of metal, flaming circuits, everything. So Deku was sort of more likely to be able to save Summer. So Deku saves Summer, and he would run away, and the 0 pointer would fall on the entrance of the battlefield. Everybody would be surprised, except for some. They would be mad, being Bakugo and Ida, because they both had a high horse, and Deku had to break it. But as Deku was sort of leaving, some heroes ran at him saying, "You're under arrest." Deku would say, "Why?" "You're the son of a villain." Deku would say, "Wait, I'm not a son of, I am not the son of a villain." And this is where I'll be leaving it off. Adios, mi amigos. My Max leaving.